Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into another edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Caleb Brooks, and we'll be with you on this rainy Wednesday afternoon for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Kind of an interesting day. We talk a little bit about the SEC schedule, what possibly that's going to look like in a couple of years as Texas and Oklahoma enter the fray. It looks like it's down to two possibilities.
Yeah.
At least that's what's being reported. So they're kind of interesting. We'll take a look at that, kind of break that down a little bit. Auburn supposed to play Kentucky yesterday, did not get a chance to do that due to the rain. Was supposed to play at 9:30 this morning. Ain't happening, Caleb.
Supposed to play at 12:45. It ain't happening either.
So this game, the game that would never take place.
It's going to be interesting to see what they end up deciding to do because it's going to rain tomorrow, too. I mean, it's supposed to rain from 5 o'clock until 3 o'clock, really, tomorrow. And, I could possibly see, if they can maybe get this game in today, you're down to 8 teams left. You just take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and do single elimination 8-team tournament, and that's probably what's going to end up having to be done. So
I don't know if you got a choice, really, unless you want to kind of push
maybe we need to smarten up a little bit and go to Tampa or something because Big 12's playing at the Ranger Stadium and they got a dome and they're having no issues right now. And I love it being in Hoover. I'm not, I'd like to keep it in Hoover, but we're also really playing with fire, trying to have a tournament in the middle of May. So
it's true. You either get really good luck, which it depends on how you want to look at it. It's either about 100 degrees and there's not
there's no rain.
There's no drop of rain. Or it rains every single day. So.
Now, the good news is, the high on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is like 79 and then 82 and 82. So, it would feel good for the players. And, players have gotten a rest this week and some arms have gotten a rest. You would have had some guys rushing back. Auburn would have been rushing a couple of guys back to pitch last night from Thursday. And
if Butch Thompson changes his mind here.
Oh,
because this game gets pushed so far. There was going to start Carson Skipper now. Your starters have gotten a rest. Maybe you end up changing your mind.
It also depends on how important, I think for Auburn you have to look at it and go, okay, if we win this tournament, or do we have a chance at hosting because you're hosting a super regional? Because then it'd be important. If you're going to be outside of that top 8 spot, you're almost better off just, saving all your pitching and working towards the next week and knowing you're going to be at home. So
it looks like, again, not going to happen. At least 12:45. We'll see if this game gets in today. Alabama beat Georgia, so they're supposed to play Arkansas at some point. We don't know when that will be. Florida beat South Carolina 2-1, and Vandy beat Ole Miss 3-1. So Alabama and Arkansas still yet to play. Florida and Texas A&M still yet to play. Vandy and Tennessee still yet to play. But first, Auburn and Kentucky have to play, and we'll see whenever that happens.
Last year there was a very, very big deal made about in the Women's College World Series, which is way different than the SEC tournament, obviously. But the Women's College World Series, you had all these people saying, if you remember Florida State and somebody played until about 2 o'clock in the morning because of rain, and they were like, they would never make baseball do that. Ole Miss and Vandy ended at 1:15 in the morning last night. So and then they got mad about the game being on Thursday at whatever time. And a couple of years ago, there was rain, and Coastal Carolina and Arizona played the National Championship Game 3 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday on ESPNU. So that argument last year just kind of got on my nerves because we've seen baseball also kind of get the shaft with all this as well.
Yeah. Well, baseball and softball, for that matter, being, a series-type sport, you run into problems like this.
Exactly.
It's just a fact. That's just the way that it is. And a sport that's just played outdoors quite a bit, you're at the mercy of the weather. That's just kind of the way it is. Yeah, it doesn't always work out perfectly. So you deal with it, you do the best you can, and you move on. We'll see what happens. All right, Auburn went to match play in the women's golf championship. They made it to the second round. They beat UCLA in match play, got matched up with the number 1 team in the country yesterday, Stanford, and ended up falling 3-2. So, I mean, they gave them all they could. I mean, Stanford's they're number 1 for a reason, but
Auburn golf has really come along, though,
Auburn
men
has
and women.
made
Yeah.
really big strides. This is second year. I think this is the second year in a row Auburn's made it to the match play in the championship. So, I mean, you think about gymnastics made it to the Final Four. Now, women's golf makes it to the Final Four. So, you'd like to be a
You got
healthy
softball
program
at least
all
was
the way
right there with a chance to host a regional this year for the first time in 6 years.
So there's some, at least the athletic department as a whole seems pretty healthy. So that's a good thing. But
especially on the women's side.
Yeah, and the men, they are going to be participating there in Arizona in the men's championship. That'll get underway this week. So looking forward to that as well. But again, we welcome all you in there, all of you out there into the Auburn Blitz. This is kind of a very interesting topic of conversation. It affects everybody as far as the SEC is concerned. This came down about the new scheduling kind of this morning, talking about the 2 options. The spring meeting's about to happen for the SEC as the commission, all the athletic directors get together and Greg Sankey, and they try to hammer out this deal. So what's it going to be? What's your opinion? Which would you prefer? Let's look at it and break this down. What's the 2 options? So we heard a lot about, maybe there was going to be, we knew with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma, this is going to change things. And we heard a lot about these quote-unquote 4 pods. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It's either going to be an 8-game schedule where you have 1 permanent opponent and 7 rotators, or it's going to be a 9-game schedule where you have 3 permanent opponents and 6 rotators. Now, both scenarios would have you playing everybody in the conference home and away in a 4-year period, which is good. Because as far I don't think Georgia has gone to A&M a single time since A&M's been in the league.
South Carolina hasn't been to Tuscaloosa since 2009 and isn't scheduled to go back till 2026.
That's just not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
So, all right, let's just off the top of my head, let's just start there. Which would you prefer? 1 permanent with 7 rotators, 3 permanent with 6 rotators.
I've been a 9-game schedule guy for a while now. So
okay.
I want the 9-game schedule, 3 permanent opponents. You can figure it out. That keeps Alabama and Tennessee playing, all the time. I think that would probably be one. I think for Alabama it would be like Alabama, Tennessee, Auburn. For Auburn it would be Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss or something like that. And if you can get everybody, 2 really good teams and then 1 who you never know what they're going to be like every year, that's fair. It's even. And I like adding 1 more conference game to the schedule. We're in a day and age where this is about entertainment. We're going to end up expanding the playoffs at some point. So add another conference game is really not going to be that big of a deal because you're going to have more of an opportunity to get into the playoffs ultimately. And we know that the SEC is going to end up having the most teams get in. If we go up to 8, likelihood of 3 getting in are pretty high. If we go to 12, probably going to get 4 in. So adding a conference game is only going to help the strength of schedule, and I don't think it's really going to affect any of these teams and them. I would like to see more. I'm all about meaningful games, and I know that some of these schools, the Alabama States, the Utah States, the ULMs, those guys, they need these games for money, that type of stuff. You would still have 3 of those, but playing a 9-game conference schedule and then, playing someone really good out of conference on top of it and then having 2 kind of cupcake games in there, that's what I want to see everybody go to.
Yeah. So. Again, there are pros and cons from either side. The way that they seem to have this thing set up and the way they're talking about it, there are no divisions really, right?
Yeah.
The league is split into an upper echelon and a lower echelon. So if you went that route where you had 3 permanent opponents, as of right now they have it split basically into Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Auburn, Texas, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma, and Florida. That's your top echelon. So 2 of your 3 permanents would come from that group. Now you have the lower round. That would be Tennessee, South Carolina, Vandy, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Missouri, and Ole Miss. 1 team would come from there. So now, you want to try to make it, I guess, as even as you can.
Is Tennessee really in that lower tier, though? I mean, they've won a national championship. I mean, I know that for the last 20 years, last 20 years haven't been as great, but I mean, from a historical standpoint, Texas. I mean, they've been about as bad. I mean, if we're going to put Tennessee in there, then Texas could be in there too. I mean,
that's a fair point, but for Texas A&M, I mean, for Texas, they would probably.
Look, Texas ain't coming to the SEC if they're not in that top tier category. Okay, their egos are too big for that. How's A&M in the top tier category? How about that? I mean, what have they done in their history? What have they even done under Jimbo Fisher outside of a COVID year with a 4th-year quarterback with Kellen Mond? They're an 8-4 program. Yeah. That's what they've been. They've been that since Kevin Sumlin took over and started. I mean, they're an 8-4 program. So what puts A&M in the top tier?
Texas A&M may have a better history of the last 40 years in Texas. And that's
Texas at least has a national championship.
Yeah.
Vince Young. What does A&M have? They ain't even won a conference championship.
No.
Hadn't even been to a conference championship game.
We got to take a break. We're just getting started. Love to know your opinion. Give us a call, 254-6221, or dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page. That's Sports with a Z. And comment away. More to come right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious 1-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA Weekly Show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 Preview Show, and Reclassification Reveal Show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
GMC Sierra 1500 AT4s, all-terrain four-wheel drives, are ready to roll now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika and discounted up to $3,800 off. And check out the GMC heavy-duty 2500s and 3500s. GMC Acadia, save up to $4,500 now with 0% financing on most new GMC models.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Caleb here with you. About 45 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. Again, we are brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. They are saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgage. Give them a call today. They know this business backwards and forwards, and they are always looking out for your best interest. So it's 256-397-0248, 256-397-0248 if you are in the market to refinance. JD says, did you say no pods? Yes, no pods. You know, the idea of breaking the conference into 4 divisions, so to speak, quote unquote, that is not, you know, that's out now.
So it'd be hard to determine SEC, you know, who gets the SEC championship, tiebreakers, and all that, I think, if you did that.
It would. So we're talking about essentially, you know, again, no divisions, but breaking it up into halves in that you have an upper echelon and a lower echelon as far as if you went with the 3 permanent and 6 rotators. Now, if you went with the, and again, you break it up into the 2 halves. What if you went with the 1 permanent? Clearly, I guess that would be Auburn and Alabama would be the permanent. So Auburn would lose every year Georgia. Now, you would get them every other year, I guess. But Alabama would lose Tennessee every year. But, I mean.
And LSU every year.
But you would only have 8 conference games, and you would have that 4th out-of-conference game to schedule for
I think it's time
whatever.
to move to non-conference. I mean, you're going to have 16 teams in the conference. You play non-conference games. That's the way I look at it. I mean, if we're going to keep expanding, then you got to expand the schedule.
Well, Big Ten's moved to 9. Pac-12 has
everybody's
moved
to 9. I mean,
Has
I think
the
ACC's
ACC
at 9.
moved to 9?
Yeah, ACC's at 9. So, I mean, and, you know, you can look at it and go, oh, it's been working for – it's going to work no matter what. We're the best conference in football. We're the best conference. We're going to beat everybody. I mean, so it's going to work. I mean, they're going to expand this thing to – I think you're going to see a 12-team football playoff is what you're going to end up seeing. It's how many are in the NFL right now, or it may be 14 now in the NFL with the added – they added a walk-up, but still – I think you're going to see a 12-team playoff. You're going to see the top 4 get a bye. You're going to see 5 play 12 and do all that. Then it'll be an 18 playoff. If you get 12 teams, you're going to have 3 or 4 SEC teams in it every single year, no matter what. And that extra conference game is only going to help the strength of schedule. It's only going to help the argument that, hey, Auburn had to play all these teams, and, you know, they're sitting at maybe number 14 in the AP poll, but we look at it and we think they got, you know, the number 6 strength of schedule, and we're going to put them in at that 12 spot because they went through this grueling SEC and got through it with a winning record and are sitting there at 10-2 or 10-3 or whatever it be. So I think it'll do nothing but just help all these teams.
If they were serious about some of the discussions yesterday, you could have it where if you did that 3 permanent and you ended up with like a top 4 at the end of the year to play for the SEC title in a mini playoff. Now that would even be more games to
Well,
add to.
that's my argument too. We're doing all this crap, player safety, targeting, all this. Let's add games. Let's add, so are we really doing all this for player safety? I mean, that's the question that I have, because we talk about that, but then we want to add games. We want to add an NFL game to the schedule. We want to make them play on Thursday night and then come back and, or play on Sunday night and then come back and play on Thursday night. And are we really doing this for player safety, or is that just your argument to try to make the game look safer?
Well, I'm not sure we've done anything as far as player safety is concerned. Now, I mean, targeting, I think that's probably helped to some degree, but as far as the games, when it comes down to it,
targeting has helped in the sense of you see players now. There's no junior rose green hits anymore, like the guy on Georgia. Okay, those are out of the game. But then that's my problem with still having the targeting rule where ejecting people is nobody's going in there with the malicious intent to take someone's head off anymore. So why are we ejecting guys from the game because they bump helmets on the field? Like for Auburn this year against Penn State, there's no way that you should get ejected for that. Against Mississippi State, there's no way that you should get ejected for that. He's not going in to take his head off. They bumped helmets. You wear helmets for a reason.
There's still a couple that.
There's a couple
guys
sometimes.
Come in. Smoke Monday tried to take a guy's head off.
Yeah, Smoke Monday should have been ejected. Yeah, but those are and you know what? We should have something in place where we look at it and we go, hey, look, that was malicious intent, and you can see it. Any of us with two eyes can see when someone's going in with malicious intent.
I don't think
when someone's not.
I think that makes them nervous to try to determine malicious intent. I think that nobody wants to be in that booth to say, yes, there was intent there, because it's difficult to judge.
But we're still punishing other guys who aren't, and that's the problem that I have. And we're if it's in the second half, you're now you can't play the first half of the next game, which has nothing to do with the game you got ejected from. And it just, we've adapted with certain things. We've got to adapt with this rule. It's been in place for 10 years. It's kind of served its purpose. Now you got to adapt a little bit with it. And so, I mean, that's what I have with that. But, I mean, with this, go to non-conference games. I mean, let's play more SEC games. You got more teams coming in. I mean, I'm all for at least with the other setup, you're playing everybody within the conference within a 4-year period, which is what we absolutely have to get back to. But if you add another conference game, you keep some of these other games. I mean, there's Alabama fans I know that live up in Huntsville that want to keep that Tennessee game. They do hate Tennessee more because you live around more Tennessee fans. Yeah. Me being an Alabama fan, I don't like Auburn as much because I'm around all y'all all the time, and y'all don't like us as much because you're around. I mean, that's the way it is. If there's some Alabama fans in Mobile that hate LSU more because they're around more LSU fans down there. So there's certain rivalries that you want to keep within this that if you do it the other way, they're not going to be playing every single year. And I don't know that I'm on board with that.
The Iron Bowl is good for college football.
Oh, the Iron Bowl has to stay. Yeah.
Alabama, Tennessee, I'm not sure anybody, I know not as near as many people care nationally about that game. So
and it's the same with Auburn and Georgia.
That's why, it's true. John says, will Auburn get to any baseball today? We'll see. It probably that game gets played, but it may be the only one today.
Ty, I got a feeling they're going to start it probably about 2 o'clock, and it's going to end up getting some rain at about 4, and then they'll finish at about 7, and that's going to be the only game that gets played at Hoover today.
Ty says, I like the 9 conference games. Auburn got a good non-conference future schedule, and CBS announced today Auburn-Penn State is 2:30 game. That is true. We'll bring that up a little bit later.
Good pick.
Ed says, will the upper and lower divisions be based on what your power brokers spend on your NIL? If so, put Tennessee in the upper and move Auburn to the lower. Fair point. We got to take another break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Caleb here with you. About 30 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. We are brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate. For all your real estate needs here in the Lake Martin area, maybe you're looking for your dream home or retirement place. Maybe it's just a getaway cabin, whatever it is. Whether it's an existing home or a lake lot. Big Fish Real Estate, that's who you want to call. They know the place backwards and forwards. They are doing some huge things here in the Lake Martin area. They are a new company as far as haven't been around for a long time, but man, they are taking over the market. Big Fish Real Estate, 551 Big Fish, or look them up, bigfishlakemartin.com. Some more comments come rolling through. Ty says, my friend is at Hoover. He said the tarp is coming off the field. The just announced the first pitch will start at 12:45, so I guess they're still on track, Caleb.
Hey, they're going to start it. They ain't going to finish it. I mean, you can look at the radar. I mean, unless it just disappears.
But it's pouring down right here.
Well, you can look at there's more coming behind it, too. Yeah. I mean, so I hope their goal, obviously, they're going to try to start this game. There's going to be rain at some point, and then they're going to try to finish it at some point. I think it'll be you'll get one game in today, and then as we talked about, it's going to rain again tomorrow, and they're going to have to look at it and go, all right, what's our best decision going forward? I think it's going to be 4 games Friday, 2 games Saturday, 1 game Sunday, single elimination, 8-team tourney, and that's what you're going to end up getting.
I think we got a phone call, but, when it comes down to scheduling, you got to factor in the one thing that I think as far as the 1-7 versus the 3-6 plus 6 is how important are traditional rivalries to you? Because if they're not, then –
well, and then how many traditional rivalries are we also going to, because, Alabama and Auburn's important. Like you talked about, that's become a national rivalry. We've done a documentary about it. There's people that are in Arizona. I mean, I was visiting Dallas, Texas a couple weeks ago, and there's people that aren't Alabama and Auburn fans, but they were like, oh, saw my buddy wearing an Alabama shirt, and they're like, oh, man, I know you hate Auburn. I mean, they know. I mean, they just know, how it is. Yeah. And then I had friends with, hey, War Eagle, and they're like, oh, so you're hanging out some Auburn. I mean, it's just so they understand the rivalry, and it's a nationwide rivalry. But like you're talking about from a national standpoint, Alabama and Tennessee is not big right now. Auburn and Georgia really isn't as big right now. And Alabama and LSU is kind of bigger than Alabama and Tennessee now from a national standpoint because of what those two teams were. But now we don't really know what LSU is going to be under Brian Kelly
either. If you're an
either.
Auburn fan, okay, if you got 3, you can keep Alabama. And you just say, well, okay, Alabama, Georgia, and somebody. Well, who's to say I wouldn't rather have Alabama, LSU, and Vandy? Or, because you want an easier game.
Yeah.
I might rather have LSU than Georgia.
Or Kentucky.
Well, that ain't going to happen. But let's go to the phone line.
I don't know if we have.
Yeah. Maybe we lost them. Okay. If we lost that caller, give us a call back, and we'll try to get to that, 256-234-6221. That's our number here.
Yeah, and look, give us a call. I mean, we want to hear from you guys. What do y'all think? Do y'all want the 8-team conference schedule to stay in place? Do you want the 9-team conference schedule? Which one do you think will work better?
Yeah,
let us know.
Is that a deal breaker for you?
Yeah.
As far as I got no phone call here, Kane. We must be having some phone issues on our phone line here, but what's important to you? Is the Georgia is that a deal breaker? Do you have to have that in the package? So if that's the case, then
and like there's going to be some Auburn fans that is going to be a deal breaker. Say, look, I've watched this rivalry my whole life. I've been to every game. I've been to Athens. I've been to Auburn, and I want to keep this. This is what I want to watch the rest of my life. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how this affects things now going forward.
Oh, let's try that. Hey, caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Andy, David.
Hey, how you doing, David?
Well, I'm out driving around in this monsoon right now.
Are you in a boat?
I appreciate Caleb stepping in today. I was going to try to help JJ out. I was going to Birmingham, and when they announced at 11:15 that the first pitch was 12:45, I said, no, I'm not going to make it. Plus, I don't think they can get a whole lot of baseball in today anyway.
No, probably not. They say that it's got a little window here that Auburn and Kentucky may get started here about 12:45, but we'll see.
Yeah, very little. Well, wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall at these spring meetings? That's going to be interesting.
No doubt.
And I want to be that fly that lands in between Jimbo and Ned.
Agreed. There's so many talking points, and we can continue to discuss all of that. You guys have covered it well about the no pods and the options. I wanted to address one thing about the targeting rule. Caleb covered that. And I also love it when Caleb gets fired up about Jimbo. That's always enjoyable to listen to. I know Jimbo's one of his favorite people in the whole world. But if coaches, and I've not been in a bunch of college camps, but if coaches would do a better job of demanding that these players tackle correctly. When I was a high school coach, we did not allow front of the helmet tackling, and we punished players for doing that. I wish there would be a concerted effort among our coaches that would come out and say, hey, we're doing everything we can to teach these guys, no more kill shots. It's going to happen every once in a while, but it's just at an epidemic proportion right now, and I wish the coaches would do something about coming out and saying, look, we're going to do a better job of teaching this and demanding this from our players. What say you about that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when I just get I get frustrated with a lot of this stuff with, the targeting and all that type of stuff. And I agree with you. I mean, I think teaching tackling definitely goes a long way and all that, but the game's so fast too. I mean, you know how it is out there as a coach, and we talk about all this stuff like it's easy for some of these guys, and it's not. I actually had a conversation with El Toro Freeman about 2 weeks ago, and I asked him, I said, Toro, if targeting and all this would have been in play, El Toro, I'd have been ejected almost every game. He's like, because that's just how I played. He's like, I played hard. I went out there and played fast. He's like, you're not thinking about not bumping heads with another player, and he goes, you're seeing it now. He's like, there's a reason that you're having more struggles on defense and things like that, because players are having to think too much on the field, and they're having to. So, I mean, that's how I kind of feel about it is, yeah, we can talk about teaching it better and doing this better and all that stuff better, but, for the most, you're playing a game, and you're trying to go play at full speed, and you're trying to play to the best of your ability, and I think that we're trying to ask a lot out of these guys to make very quick split, second decisions that is really affecting the game, it's affecting their team, and it's affecting their livelihood going forward.
David, we got to go. We got to take a break, okay?
All right, brother.
Thank you for the phone call. Don't go anywhere. More to come on this edition of the Auburn Blitz.
Lake Martin has a new car buying experience. It's the TR Group of Alex City on Cherokee Road. The TR Group has up to 100 late model vehicles to choose from and will not be beat on price, selection, or financing. With the TR Group, your selection and quality is easy and your good credit is rewarded. But we offer guaranteed financing on our inventory because your future is more important than your past. The TR Group, Lake Martin's new standard in auto sales. Located at 814 Cherokee Road, Alex City, USA.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Whether you prefer bricks, clicks, or taps, there's one place built around all your needs. For whatever it is you want to do. Even if your needs change, we'll be right there with you, making it all possible. Because you never know when a new addition will come along. So walk in, log on, or tap away. Either way, Valley's built to help you do you. Wherever life takes you, we'll be right there with you.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogrooom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, 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 Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Just a couple more segments left. In today's show, Andy and Caleb taking you up to 1 o'clock. We're brought to you each and every day by Russell Dewitt Center. They got 10 locations around Central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Dewitt Center. Today, you'll be glad that you did. Let's see. Ed said that an interesting – he said his problem with targeting is that it's a double standard because running backs lead with their helmets. Why is that not targeting? I'll even take that a step further. Why is it legal for a running back to essentially grab the face mask of his opponent, and that's not face mask? I mean, how can you
That's what I've argued.
somebody in the face?
We've made rules that favor the offense now because we're in this for entertainment, we're in this for points, all this stuff. And that was another thing, it just goes on top of the targeting and all that. I mean, we're allowing players to reach out, grab face mask and do stuff. And then they can lower their head into you, and it's a targeting on the defensive player.
And you can coach that, right?
Yeah.
Son, get your head up in there.
Lower your head.
You got to get that yard. I mean, and that's still being taught today. So, I don't know. I think you got to, if you're going to.
It's a lot harder to play defense now. Yeah. I mean, it's just the bottom line. It's really hard to play defense, and you can make a great
design.
and you can make a great play. I mean, with Auburn and Mississippi State last year, and what happened with that situation, you're sitting there just making a tackle on the quarterback, trying to get a sack, and next thing you know, it's 15 yards for the offense. So, I don't like that. I get player safety, all that type of stuff, but we're 10 years into this rule now, and so got to make some adjustments to it. No players these guys were 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old when targeting got put into play, and we started changing how we were teaching tackling it. You saw the commercials and all that type of stuff. They've been in it for a while now. We got the group in now that's been learning how to tackle the right way now for their whole life. You got to change the rule. We can't keep ejecting players and affecting teams and affecting players and them having film and that type of stuff just because we want to keep this rule in place, and we don't want the responsibility on a guy. I think anybody with any kind of logical sense can look and tell when a player's going in with a malicious intent and then when two players just bump helmets in play. So,
yeah, there are some that are ridiculously easy that don't need to be,
Yeah. I mean, there's one in the Ole Miss bowl game against Baylor last year. They got one called on them where the guy just comes in and just makes a tackle. He's getting his head across.
4 or 5?
Yeah. And he's just getting his head across, and they bumped on the side. He's hitting the side of his head on the guy's face mask. How's that going to hurt the player? Yeah. So, we got to do something. And, we're worried about all this other stuff. To me, that's one of the biggest rules that we've got to figure out is targeting right now and not ejecting kids and affecting teams and affecting outcomes of games because we're giving offense 45 yards and targeting penalties in a game.
And because a guy is falling down or something and,
he's going to tackle the legs, and then he gets pushed from behind, and you bump helmets.
Yeah.
Or he's diving for the end zone, and he's trying to keep them from getting in the end zone, and then it turns into 4 more downs for the other team to get a touchdown.
That's bad. One of the things that was brought up about the schedule. Oh, I was going to say, just to kind of put a capper on that, but I think one thing that's important, regardless of whichever decision that they make, the 1+7 or the 3+6, don't get married to it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Let's say let's try this for 2 years, or let's try this for at the most 4 years.
Yeah, for 4.
And
That way everybody
see
gets their home and
how
away.
It works, and this reevaluated.
Yeah.
Let's not do one of these things where we're going to do this for the next 12
and even
years.
like you said, Oklahoma and Texas aren't going to be involved in this vote, which they shouldn't be right now. They shouldn't be. But they're going to end up being a part of this conference. And so if you do it for the 4 years like you're talking about, they're going to be a part of it, and then they'll have a say in it. And you're getting everybody to have a say in it.
And if you're one of these teams, you may have to readjust and say Texas belongs in the lower echelon, Tennessee belongs in the upper, or, or one of these others.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the way it was forever. The East would be elevated for a while, and then the West would be elevated for a while. And it kind of went back and forth. Now, I mean, that's the West is kind of dominated here. But,
for about 15 years now.
But surely that's going to change at some point. So this is just kind of the nature of SEC football. It evolves. So, whatever you do, just kind of make sure that do we got a phone call? No, it's not. Hey, caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey, Andy, Caleb, it's Terry. How y'all doing?
Hey, Terry, how you doing?
Doing great. I hate the targeting rule, guys. I can't stand it because if it's just not, they could call the target on offense. If you ran the wishbone formation nowadays, you could call targeting on the fullback on every play.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's what I can't stand about it, because it makes an average team get in a game that they really shouldn't even be in. I just can't stand it. I don't like it. And have you guys seen the baseball highlight of that? There's a junior college where the umpire knocked the guy down.
Yeah.
Going from first to second. Have you seen that, Andy?
I have not.
Yeah, there was a big thing this weekend. It kept that team's best player from being able to have a chance to have an at-bat to either tie or win the game. There
and he would have been the tying run on second base, but
and apparently that umpire made some calls and stuff during the game that team was kind of questioning, was he standing there on purpose?
Really?
Yeah.
This was in a junior college game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not sure where it was, but they were talking about it on a show this morning out of Birmingham, and I was like, God, that's ridiculous. You think the umpire would have said, called interference, that would just convert it. I guess the guy behind the plate's the crew chief, is that right?
That's what I read, was that he was the crew chief, and it was a very, very weird situation. I mean, obviously the umpire got in the way. He would have been on second easily, and then he ends up going to second anyways, thinking he's going to get the interference call, and the umpire calls him out and says that he's just part of the play. Well, how come he wasn't standing in that same spot all the other times that people were around him first base throughout the game? It's just
and
it's
the
really
bases
weird.
were loaded, weren't they, Caleb?
Yeah.
As well, and he cleared the bases, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he cleared the bases. It would have given his team a chance with their best player up to win the game in a conference tournament, and instead he got out, and they lost the game because of it. So
it's unbelievable. But as far as the targeting, I can't stand the targeting. I wish it would never been brought up. But you know how it is. You got these soccer moms out there says, "Oh, you can't hurt my baby" or something like that. So anyway, you guys take care.
Thank you for the phone call, Terry. It looks like the game's underway. Auburn and Kentucky.
Yeah.
We'll
see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Now, it does look like the radar's changed a little bit. It looks like there's now going to be a window for them to maybe get this game in by 4, but then there's more rain come behind it. I'll be shocked if they get another one in today after this one. So.
Well, let's just get this one.
Yeah.
That will at least.
Need to get the first round done at least. So.
All right, we got to take one more break. We'll be back with one final segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Wednesday right after this.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Wednesday afternoon. Join us tomorrow, same time, same channel. We'll continue these discussions. Love to hear from you. 256-234-6221. Braves 20-23 now. They got a comeback win last night after Kenley Jansen blew it.
Bryce Harper had his way last night.
Man, he had a great night.
Hey, you know what? Me and my brother were talking about this morning. Bryce Harper's become one of my favorite players in Major League Baseball. He's matured a lot. He's grown up, and like you can see it. And he's become one of my favorite guys to watch, to listen to. And he had a little bit of cockiness, but look, I don't know how I was at 16, 17, 18 years old, and if I was hitting balls 515 feet at Tropicana Field with a metal bat and getting put on the cover of Sports Illustrated, probably would have been pretty cocky too back then. So yeah. I think he kind of got humbled a little bit with not having as much success early after having the MVP and all that, and he's now really recovered, and he's one of the more likable guys in the MLB when you listen to him talk, and he's playing really, really well for them this year. But he had his way last night, that's for sure, and luckily the Phillies are the Phillies, so that helped the Braves. And, look, I had a buddy of mine was like, Acuna was being lazy. It's like, I think everybody and their mom thought that was going to be a sacrifice fly to tie the game at least, so I can see why he wasn't just sprinting out of the box.
Don't run with the bat down the first base. Come on, kid. But, I mean, I get it. But, Braves got a couple more with the Phillies.
They need to win the next two. The Braves have not won 3 in a row all year this year.
They have only won 3 series all year.
Yeah, and they have not won 3 in a row at all. Their biggest win streak all year is 2 right now. So at some point, they've got the schedule coming up. They're about to be playing the Pirates, the Marlins, the Nationals, the Rockies.
D-backs.
I mean, they got a month now where they can really make up some ground if they get things going. But they've got to get things going. And you can sit here and go, well, last year they were doing the same thing. Well, the Mets weren't doing the same thing that they're doing last year. And so just because last year you could wait around don't mean you can wait around this year. They've got to figure something out. Hopefully Rosario can come back in the next about 6 weeks, and I think that may help some stuff because and Duvall's killing them right now. I mean, Duvall's bad, and he's a big hole in the lineup. And my brother's like, well, we got to have him in center field. You know what? Then we got to look at going and getting a center fielder if we have to have him in center field because he's killing us right now with runners. They would have won the game the other night if him and Acuna would have just gotten some hits with some runners on base. They had a chance to come back after getting down 6-0. So they've got to start hitting the ball, and they've got to start doing stuff. The positive is starting pitching has been a lot of fun to watch for the most part this year. But they got to figure out a 5th starter. I think they're kind of trying to wait around for Soroka. You got to start putting Spencer Strider in there and give him a chance.
Is that?
That's what they're saying. Saying end of July that he can come back, and they're expecting him to start. But I don't know if you can afford to wait around. And Spencer Strider's been pretty good. You got to give him or McHugh a chance to be that 5th starter right now and fill in a role until he gets back.
I don't disagree with any of that. That's Braves and the Phillies tonight.
Down 8 games right now. I mean, it's a lot to make up. You got a long time to do it, but that's a lot to make up, 8 games.
No question. On this day, it is May the 25th. 1935, Babe Ruth hit the final home run of his career. He hit 3 in the same game. That was the last 3 he ever hit. If you're going to go out with a bang, and Babe did it. He was playing for the Boston Braves at the time, although they did lose the game. It's a very auspicious day. 1941, Ted Williams raised his batting average above 400 for the first time that year, and it stayed above 500 for quite a bit of that year as he would finish the last man to bat above 400 in 1941. 1951, Willie Mays makes his MLB debut. Goes 0 for 5. 1965, Ali knocks out Sonny Liston in the first round. A lot of people don't realize that's the iconic photo of him over, and that was actually the second bout.
Yeah.
He knocked him out in the first round. They fought once before in 64, and Sonny Liston did not answer the bell in the 7th. He said no mas. So, and Ali ended up.
You seen where his great-grandson is fighting, or grandson or whatever?
No.
He's in boxing. He's pretty
Really?
good, too. Yeah, he knocked someone out like 2 weeks ago. So
Sonny Liston was a bruiser, man.
I'm talking about Ali's great-grandson.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not
He's
realize
got it's either his grandson or his great-grandson, but he's pretty good.
Okay. Interesting. Happy birthday today, Hall of Famer in the NBA or professional basketball, Bill Sharman. He was a guard. Claude Atkins. You don't remember BJ and the Bear. You ever even heard of that?
No. Today's
first
time.
It was a TV show, and it was a spinoff called Sheriff Lobo. Sheriff Lobo was Claude Atkins.
Okay.
He was in a bunch of Twilight Zone movies, too.
Okay.
BJ and the Bear,
I like
he was a
Twilight
monkey
Zone.
named the Bear. He named him after Paul Bear Bryant.
Oh, okay.
The monkey.
Cool.
He was a truck driver. It was the hijinks of him and his truck and his monkey. BJ and the Bear.
BJ and the Bear.
That was when I was a kid. All right, Warren Frost, he was in Seinfeld. You don't know. Casey Jones played for the Celtics, won 2 titles as the coach of the Celtics, 84 and 86.
Okay.
Tom T. Hall, one of the greats. Harper Valley PTA, he wrote that one. I Love, no. How about Faster Horses? No.
No. I feel like you like asking me this just so I can tell you I don't know it or something.
How about let's see, ain't but 3 things in this world worth a solitary dime.
No.
No. Children.
I mean, there's stuff that I've probably heard,
dogs,
like some of this,
and
or
watermelon wine.
No.
Okay. Ian McClellan. He played Magneto in the X-Men. Are you a Lord of the Rings?
Oh yeah.
He's Gandalf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy now.
Okay, there you go. Jessie Coulter, wife of Waylon Jennings.
I know Waylon
Met her
Jennings,
one time in Opryland. Frank Oz the voice of Yoda.
Okay.
The voice of Bert on Sesame Street.
Yeah, okay.
Grover.
I know those characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, a Fozzie Bear.
Yeah.
Frank Oz, puppeteer and voice. Let's see. Robbie Steinhardt from Kansas. Mike Myers, really fun. Ruthie Bolton played basketball at Auburn, won a gold medal in '96. Kendall Gill, Octavia Spencer, Academy Award winner, also went to Auburn.
Yeah.
Antonio Lang, Molly Sims, beautiful. Brian Urlacher and Sean Merriman, all born on.
I know the last two for sure. Brian Urlacher, Sean Merriman.
Tom T. Hall, man, look him up. Great song.
I have to do that.
For Caleb Brooks, I'm Andy Graham. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.